Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Sri Ram Giridhara Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki
Jai.
Sarveshwari Smriti Bhagwan ki
Jai.
Bhakti Shiromani Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj ki
Jai.
Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Gaur Premanand.
Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for nice kirtana. Welcome you all once again. Day 9 of Bhagavad-Gita session. So today we'll cover the chapter Attaining the Supreme. So in this chapter, Arjuna is having more doubts about Brahman and about the devotional service, how the people who are doing devotional service know Krishna at the time of death. So we'll also cover how to prepare for the death in our life. And there are so many things in this chapter, and this is second chapter in the Bhakti series of 6 chapters. So please be attentive and avoid any distractions for an hour or so. Yeah, Prabhuji will explain more in detail with the examples. Yes, Prabhuji, you can.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. All once again, welcome to the session. So it is chapter 8, Attaining the Supreme. So day by day, we are going more depth into the knowledge. First basic, it was Jnana, that is Atma Jnana, knowledge of the soul. And then we came to balancing Swadharma and Nityadharma, both body and the soul. Now we are going to go more depth into understand today, especially we'll be understanding more about the death, how a yogi gives up his body and how devotee gives up his body. So what are the requirements? All those things we'll be discussing in today's session. So we'll start with these two chant. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshta Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swami Niti Namine Namacharya Padani Tigrapavadayana Gauragatadhamadayana Gragaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Grimet Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanya. So, as usual, we'll start with thanking His Divine Grace, Abhay Chanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, in yesterday's chapter, what did we discuss? 7th chapter, the first chapter in Bhakti Yoga. So now Krishna is very pleased with the attitude and characters of the behavior of Arjuna. Now he's revealing more about himself. He's saying about hearing. Please hear, Tachshunu. I'm going to say more about me here. And he's giving more confidential knowledge which was unknown to anyone. So this is the rarity of knowledge. Right? Then here, to know this knowledge, what is the thing? How to get the knowledge rather. So it is Pratyaksha Pramana, Hanumana Pramana, and Shabda Pramana, the authentic source. So here also the scriptural knowledge should come from Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Should be from the scriptures, but even scriptures are not authentic. If we read a scripture, it cannot be authentic. It has to come from Parampara. And it has to come from a spiritual master, a realized soul. Then that knowledge becomes authentic. Shabda Pramana means don't ever think it's only scriptures. No. It should be Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Shastra, it should come from the scriptures, and we should hear from a spiritual master. That's a bona fide spiritual master, in the sense he should have a spiritual master and he should have a spiritual master. It has to be connected to Krishna. In this way, it should be a parampara, that is sadhus, and a guru and scripture. Then it becomes Shabda. Okay? Then, when having this knowledge, we'll be able to see Krishna everywhere, as taste in the water, light in the sun, and sound in the ether, intelligence in the intelligent. In this way, many things we can see. Then accept or reject. Who are the four not accepting to the Lord, and who are the four who are accepting to the Lord? And Krishna says, Jnani is best, but devotees are rarer. Bahunam janmanam antijnanavan mam prapaddate vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. Yeah. Then Devatas. Who goes to the Devatas? Even after knowing all this, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Arjuna is saying, why still they worship Devatas? So Krishna says, because they need their material desires to be fulfilled. They don't want liberation. So such kind of people go to Devatas. And they are less intelligent. It is called as Shreyas and Prayas. Immediate results they need. I hope you all need immediate results, isn't it? We don't have that patience. We need material results rather than spiritual results. So it takes time, but spiritual is eternal. Yeah. Then today's session, what is that we are going to see? Doubts. Once again, Arjuna is having questions. He's going to raise 8 questions, and Krishna is going to answer all them. 7 he'll answer immediately, and for 1 question, it takes the whole chapter. That question is how to remember Krishna at the time of death. And what is the exam in our life? What is death? Are we prepared for our examination? Then attaining supreme and devotion. To understand more, I'll start up with a small story. So I hope you all know about a personality by name Alexander. So he was known as Alexander the Great. So here Alexander is entering Indian territory. Yes, what I can say, from almost all the world, is acquiring everything and is coming to the ocean of India. And he has heard from his spiritual master, his mother, everyone, that India is a great country. And his spiritual master has requested, if something, not wealth is required from, yes, everything is in India, but Bharata Bhumi, there is knowledge, please do get that. So he had already some information from his spiritual master. So now he entered and he was thirsty. So he saw a small hut in the far distance. So he sent his commander-in-chief, go and get some water to me. So there he went and he asked for water. Then that sadhu, he asked, there was a sadhu there, he asked whom he said, it is Alexander the Great. Yes, come. And then the sadhu said, ask him to come here. I'll be there. He came and said to Alexander, he's calling yourself, you have to go. What? Just for a glass of water? I should go there. Did you say that Alexander the Great? After saying only, yes, calling you. Then he'll get down and he'll go there in the angry mood, taking the sword. He'll go there and is very, see, many kingdoms, just the surrender hearing the name of Alexander. He was a cruel person and he was very powerful. Also, he had a big army. So everyone was scared of him. And this person standing alone, not even having proper clothes, sitting and meditating, and he's not alone here to this Alexander. So he went there, he took his sword, kept on his throat. He said, what is that? Just for a glass of water, you're calling me. Then he said, you know who am I? Who is asking this? Alexander. First he said he's calling directly. Now he's asking, do you know who am I? And this person is saying, I know very well. You're servant of my servants. What? You're servant of my servants. So hearing this, Alexander just regained knowledge that his spiritual masters. Yes, there is something special in this country. See, many just they surrender hearing my name. But this person, nothing is having. I'm taking the sword and keeping on his shoulder. Even then is least bothered. He's still saying that I'm servant of his servants. How come is this? And finally stands on his knees and he requests. He's the knowledge that you have. Then he says, how I'm the servant of your servant. Then you'll say that. See, this senses, all the 5 senses and Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara is my. They are my servants. But you are their servants. You are the servant of your senses. So you're servant of myself. And he'll understand. From there, he'll get the knowledge from that sadhu. Not only sadhu, then later part, he'll understand more about the spirituality and all this. Now, yes, realizing Alexander. But when he entered India, this by a mosquito bite, malaria. In those days, there was no medicine for malaria. Finally, he has to die. It came. Then the doctors said, today will be your last deadline. Then he called his minister. He said, can you give your lifespan of 10 days? I will give you half of the kingdom to you. Minister, what is this? 10 days of my lifespan? My dear master, I cannot do that. You cannot do that. Okay, can you give at least 1 hour of your lifespan? Now the minister is thinking, is our king getting mad at the time of death? He said, no, master, I cannot do that. Okay, can you do for me one thing, one favor? After my death, this famous doctors is the best in the world. They have to carry me. All the 4 doctors should carry me. And my hand should be wide opened outside. And gold coins should be thrown on my death. And this minister is thinking, just Alexander is able to realize the face of this minister. He's astonished to hear certain things. Then he says, I want to give you a message to the world. I have acquired all this whole world have been taken. Is it my position? But I'm going empty-handed. I came in empty-handed. I'm going back empty. The message I want. And how much ever great I am, how much ever the best doctors, if I have also, they are useless. Nobody can protect me. And finally, whatever I have gathered, the wealth, it is for others, not for me. This message I have to give to the world. This is how Alexander was realized. Now the question, are we in the situation of Alexander? Yes, we also have such kind of contaminations as Alexander had in his early life. But later part, after understanding this, he realized. So we also have our own challenges, contaminations, and many things in our life. But after hearing all this, are we getting transformed? Are we getting realized? Are we taking to it? That's the question. And another way, are we ready for the examination? What is the examination? Our death. Many will say, in death we shouldn't speak. No, we should speak about that. Actually, we should plan for it. So yogis do that. Yoga, yama, niyama, hasana, pranayama, we are hearing. What was that? They are preparing for their death. DEAD, dead. So doubts, exam, attaining the supreme and devotion. Now, Arjuna is saying here. Adi yajna katam kotra dehesmin madhusudana prayana kale cha katam niyosi nyatatmavihi. Who is the Lord of sacrifice and how does he live in the body? O Madhusudana. And how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? This is the question last, but he asked previously many questions, like 8 questions. What is Brahman? What is Adhyatma? What is Karma? What is Adibhuta? What is the Adidaiva? Who is Adiyajna? Where, whoever he is, does he reside? And how can those engaged in devotional service know Krishna at the time of death? These are the questions he's asking, and Krishna is answering all the questions here. Brahman. So what is Brahman? Indestructible living entity. The spirit soul is Brahman. Nainam chindanti shastrari, nainam dahati pavakha, nagleriyanti apanashosheti na marutaha. You already know this in the second chapter. Krishna is very clearly saying that. So there is no death to this soul. It's Brahman. It is indestructible by any of this material, because they are Mamaivamsha Jivaloki Jivabhuta Sanatana, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. That is Satchit Ananda. Clear? Yes. Adhyatma. So what is Adhyatma? The living entity's nature, which is to serve. So what is our constitutional position? Jivera Swarupa Vai Krishnera Nityadas. Jivera Swarupa. The Swarupa, the constitutional position of a living entity is Swarupa. A living entity is Krishnera Nitya Das. Nitya means constant, continuous, so eternal servant of the Lord. That is our nature. Till then we don't come to our nature, we cannot be happy. Soul can be happy only when engaged in the service of the Super Soul. Clear? Yes. Now karma. The reactions that force the living entity to take a material body in this world. In the previously third and fifth chapter, we saw different definitions for karma. But here, Krishna is giving something different. What is that? He's saying the reactions that force the living entity to take a material body. The actions are destined. What kind of a body will I get in my next life? So what kind of activities do I perform now results in my next life? So what I have done in my previous life has been resulted now. So now I'm sitting as a human being here. Who knows? By this lifetime's activities, I can take a body of a monkey, dog, cat, anything based on my desires. And Krishna will be saying more about that. Yeah, then Adibhuta, the ever-changing material nature. It is created, maintained, and then destroyed. That is Prakriti. Then Adi Devata, he who presides over all the Devatas and their planets, the universal form of the Lord, Sarvaloka Maheshwaran. That is universal form of the Lord. And you will be seeing more of this in the 11th chapter, the universal. It covers complete universe. Actually, is the soul of the universe, as the whole body is being controlled by the soul. When there is no soul, it's a dead body. When there is a soul, it's a living body. We can do so many things. The same way the whole universe has been working based on Krishna. And Krishna is the soul. And there are three Vishnu forms, that is Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Karanodakshaya Vishnu. And Karanodakshaya Vishnu is the Paramatma within us, and Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is the Paramatma for the universe. Somewhere, tomorrow, somewhere, time I get, I'll just explain those things also. Adi Yajna, Krishna has the super soul, the Lord of all sacrifices, Bhuktara Migdatapasam, is residing in everyone's heart. Sarvasya Chaham Rizhani Vishnumatta Smritir Jnanam Apmanamsha. Is giving the intelligence, forgetfulness, and the remembrance. Bhuktaram Yagnatapasam, he is the real enjoyer. And then he is situated within everyone's heart. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam. Then the final question, the last question, Arjuna's 8th question, the main subject matter. How can one attain a spiritual destination at the time of death? So what is death? Let's say this is art. It's an art, Dying is also an art. Only a devotee learns it, or else even a yogi practices to learn that. For example, you need to learn something, a flute, harmonium, or some instrument you want to learn. You practice for it. How well you practice, so expert you become to play that instrument. An examination or this death is also an art. You have to learn that. how I should die at the time, or what should be my remembrance. And in the scriptures it is said, at the time of death, 40,000 scorpions bite. The pain at the time of death is 40,000 scorpions bite. So the consciousness, how could you have this consciousness? And Krishna says here, Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram ya prayati samad bhavam yati nasthyatra samshaya. Antakale chamam eva smaran muktva kalevaram. At the time of death, who can remember me? Can come back to me. It's very simple. So this death is something like an art. Are we prepared for it? For example, just take the example of a school student. He studies his whole 1 year. What for? For that final examination. And in the very beginning of his studies, somebody says about exam. See, don't say about exam. What's the use of a study? The same way, if you don't learn how to die, what is the use of a whole life? It's getting wasted. You're not prepared for an exam. Clear? Yes. So what is that preparation? Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram. To chant the holy names at the time of death. That's it. Very clear. Have you seen previously our ancestors? At the death, when somebody is at the death, they will have this Hari Katha and many things. So at least in the end, he should remember the Lord. So Krishna is saying, a person who could remember me at the time of death, he comes back to me. Me alone at once attains my nature. Of this, there is no doubt. Don't have any doubt. At the time of death, see, and we have many intelligent people. They think that, especially ISKCON devotees, why are they always chanting? They are not intelligent. I am so intelligent. Krishna, he himself is saying, at the time of death, you chant my name. Why to chant whole life? If I chant at the time of death, Hare Krishna or something, Krishna Rama, that is sufficient, no? And Krishna also is very intelligent. He knows we have very smart people like this. So he said, in the next verse, he says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajate ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. What is that? You cannot chant holy names at the end because it depends on our consciousness. So what you have done whole life, what you have practiced, only that consciousness you can have at the time of death. If I have unwanted consciousness, I have practiced my whole life eating. Even at the time of death, I will have the consciousness of, Shishu, I missed my jamun. No, I missed it. I should have been eating it. I'm going to die without eating that jamun. Next life, you will be thinking that, okay, fine. I'll be having next life a good life so that I'll be having plenty of jamuns. No. You may take a life of a fly because fly always sit on the jamun. In that way, whatever we plan, it cannot be the same. So Krishna gives favorable body so that you can have better life. Enjoy the jamun well. So always will be sitting on it. In that way. So what consciousness you develop. And many will think, okay, then like Arjuna. So he's saying that I'll not fight, I'll go to Himalayas and meditate. And we also, many will be thinking that, yes, very good. So I should have a good practice. No? So what should I do? I should give up everything and go to Himalaya and sit and stand chanting Hare Krishna Mahamant so that I'll be able to remember Krishna at the time of death. But Krishna is not encouraging certain things. He says, no, you cannot do that. Because you are in this body, the body is also having responsibilities. Swadharma. So you should do even that. That's why Krishna says, Tasmat. Therefore, Tasmat. Sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhecha. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhecha. Arjuna, you are a Kshatriya. You should do your responsibilities. You should perform your responsibilities as Kshatriya by fighting. But while fighting, you should remember me. So it applies to everyone. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara working cha, cooking cha. Studies cha, school cha, college cha, whatever cha you can have. You can go to college, you can go to school, you can go to office, you can go to your business, you can do cooking, you can wash your clothes, you can do household works, everything by remembering Krishna. This is what Krishna is saying. And many will say, how can I do that? I'll give a small example for this. How can a mother can do the household work having a small kid? See, she feeds the kid and makes the child to sleep, and she'll go and be cooking there, or she'll be washing the clothes. Just whenever she's washing, also she'll be remembering, meditating on the child. He'll wake up early, so I should wash early. She'll be washing, then she'll be remembering. And sometimes she'll leave the washing and she'll come have peep, see, oh, whether the child is sleeping or waking up. And then she'll go and she'll wash. What is happening here? Her full consciousness is on the child, but she is doing all her household works. Same thing. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhupada also gives the example of a lover. So when you have a lover somewhere, wherever he is or wherever she is, you'll be meditating on them and you'll be doing all your works. Isn't it? The same way. So you should be always meditating on Krishna and do all our responsible activities, what it is. We should be a responsible person for the society, not what I can say, waste candidate, not performing anything. As a father, as a mother, as a citizen of the country also. I hope you understand. Bodily activities, whatever. And even as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, based on the scriptures, based on this, you have to follow everything, all the dharmic, all the rituals. It has to be perfect based on this body. But as a spirit soul, you should always remember Krishna. And one pastime we can see in the scripture in Srimad Bhagavatam, where it says about this. Once there was a person by name Ajamila. Ajamila was a good devotee. He was serving his father, his spiritual master. He used to go to the forest, get some dry wood for this yajna, all this. In this way it was going on. So once what happened, he has gone to the forest. He saw a prostitute. And she was half naked. And she was associating with a Shudra. Seeing this, he got completely attracted. Actually, he had a wife also, but still he got attracted. He was not having a good sleep in the night, 24/7, as we requesting to meditate on Krishna. He started meditating on the prostitute. And finally, he gave up everything. He gave up his wife, family, all his Brahminical duties, everything. He went behind. And she had a condition that you cannot come and associate me because you are a Brahmana. If you marry me, then I should become a Brahmin. I cannot do that. I cannot give up my sense gratification. Then she had all many conditions. If you want to have association with me, then you should drink. You should be intoxicated. He said, okay. You should eat non-veg. Okay. So you have to fulfill all my desires. For that, sometimes you should even steal. You should do dacoit, all those. He's accepted everything just to have an association. He had an association and he had 9 children by her. And he was so much, and this thing he was engaged in his sense gratification. At the age of 80 plus, this prostitute was pregnant, that for the 10th child. And Krishna is saying, some or the other day my devotee will come back. He is not coming back. He's engaging more and more. Krishna says, tomorrow's chapter should say, Krishna says, Shipram bhavati dharmatma nashashvachantim nigacchati. Aunte pratijani namay bhakta pranashyati. Please declare to the whole world that my devotees will never perish because I personally protect them. Now Krishna is saying this person is coming back, then he sends Narada Muni. Then Narada Muni comes and he guides him. So he says, as soon as seeing Narada Muni says, he avoids him. But Narada Muni says, okay, nothing more. You can just do a favor to me. Yes, what is that I can do? And he says, your 10th child taking birth, please name him Narayana. Oh, fine. That's it now. Fine. He then named his child as Narayana. And that child was very lovely, very, small kids, everyone loved. And he was very attractive also. And more than that, the name Narayana was attractive. And already previously is a devotee, is more attracted to the name also. So whenever he sees this child, he calls, Narayana, come here. Narayana, please drink. Narayana, eat. Narayana, sit. Narayana, stand. But everything is saying Narayana, 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 Narayana. Lord is so pleased hearing this. But nowadays, what? In those days also, you should see, they used to name after the Lord. They used to name Govinda, Krishna, Rama, in this way. Isn't it? But nowadays, what names we have? In those days, what the names they used to give for the dogs? Nowadays, we give to our children. Isn't it? Puppy and many things in that way. We name after that. No meaning to that. So what is the use in calling our children? Please lovingly call our children by the name of the Lord. Lord gets pleased. And you will come to, you have to read this Bhagavatam to understand that. Finally, his death came one day and he was scared because Yamadutas had come. 3 Yamadutas had come, and you should see in this picture also, not so clear. So they had this copper hairs, it was standing, they had red eyes, and they had big teeth. They were so widely, and seeing them, Ajamila was scared. In that scary thing, he started calling his son Narayana. His throat was choked up, but still he was calling Narayana. Just he called Narayana, just in a fraction of a second, Vishnudutas came. And this Yamadutas are surprised to see, because they were the first time they're seeing this. And they were surprised, and they were ready to take this Ajamila. Actually, they come with Pasha, And how do they take? So this body is having 9 holes. So it is said as a city of 9 holes also. 9 holes. Through one hole, they take the whole life. The consciousness, this consciousness, how is our life here? We have soul. The presence of soul is being recognized by the consciousness. And the consciousness is spread all over the body. From the head to the feet. Anywhere you prick with a nail or anything, you can feel that pain. That means the consciousness is spread all over the body. So they just take the life from that one hole. Have you seen the skin out? Because our, what I can say, life has been attached to this body. It is just like skinning out. When you skin out, how painful it will be. It is said in scriptures, 40,000 scorpions bite, pain will be. So that is how the life has been taken from that. And this person seeing them itself is scared. And then Yamadutas coming and saying that, no, you cannot take him. And this Vishnudutas, sorry. Then this Yamadutas are saying, how come he is our property? Because he's a sinful person. He has committed so much of sins. Then Vishnuduta says, no, but in the end he called the name of Narayana, Lord's name. Then Yamaduta said, no, it was not Lord's name. He called his son. But Vishnuduta say, ultimately the name of Narayana belongs to Lord Narayana. So it belongs to Lord. So he has called Lord. So he is purified just by calling Narayana at the time of death. In this way, it's a big story. To understand more, you have to go through this Srimad Bhagavatam. Finally, he understands that the purpose of life, anyhow he knows, but he realized what a great blunder I have done in my life by associating with this prostitute. At once, the Yamadutas left, and there was a big conversation between Yamaraj and Yamadutas also. No time to discuss all those things. And finally, he went to Giridhara, meditated on the Lord, and finally he got liberated and went back to the Lord. So this pastime states that it is not that Krishna is saying simply in this Bhagavad-Gita. It's true. Even Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a pastime. Just by saying Narayana or Krishna or Rama at the time of death, we get liberated. Vishnudutas come, not Yamadutas. Yeah? Yes. Now, the exam schedule. Life is a preparation, death is examination. Yes. How well we prepare our life, so well we can get through our examination, that is death. But there is no schedule announced for this exam. It comes as a surprise test unannounced. Isn't it? And you will be planning. Okay, my age is 40 now. Still, I'll be living at least 3 years. So somewhere I'll practice at the age of 60. Do you have any assurance that tomorrow you'll be alive? No, it is not scheduled. Anytime that death can come us. We should see during the Corona time, even many youngsters, like at the age of 30, 35, they just gave up their body and they had small kids and so many things. We couldn't assure it. Many times you can see even this accidents. Many will think, oh, it's an accident. No, nothing can be accident. Everything has been according to the plan of the Lord. Even a small leaf cannot move. A blade of grass cannot move. That means there is nothing called like accident. We think it is accident. So the life should go, it will go. When our death comes, we have to die. Even sometimes a person falling from the top of 10th floor also, he will be alive. A person just falling from the ground, he'll tap and he'll just fall down, he'll die. Isn't it? Yes. So it is surprise test. So when should we start for this? Already our time has been passed, I think. We have to start immediately. Start now, right now. Already we have lost much of our time. Actually, Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumaram Acharet. Kaumaram means the age of 5. You have to start this devotional service. That is practicing for death. Practicing to remember the Lord. Meditate on the Lord eternally, constantly, so that at the time of death you'll be able to remember the Lord. At the age of 5, you have to start. Clear? How? Abhyasa. Krishna is very practical. He said in some 6th chapter also we saw, Abhyasena tu kaunteya. You do practice, he's saying. Practice. Then that's what I said. So Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha. We have to do our duties and practice meditating. How to do that? Read Bhagavad-Gita, do some service, anusmara, always remember Krishna. When you do some service and read Bhagavad-Gita, you start meditating on it. Because your knowledge is coming towards the spirituality. Now you are meditating on the material things, isn't it? How should I go? What should I do? Which dress should I wear? In this way, it keeps on going. Once you read this Bhagavad-Gita, come towards the spirituality, then you think, how should I become a devotee? How should I remember the Lord? How many malas I can chant? What should I offer to the Lord? In this way, you keep on meditating on these things. So this is actually liberating us from this material world. And whatever you think for sense gratification, it is binding us. Clear? Then, attaining the supreme, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, comparing material and spiritual world. This you'll see in this portion of this book. Now, Ashtanga Yoga. You saw this thing, Bhakti, but Ashtanga Yoga, Krishna is explaining how difficult is it, how to give up the body. How does a yogi does? Practice Shat Chakra Yoga, rise like air to Agnya Chakra. The 6th chapter, I'll explain a little bit detail in this 8th chapter, how to give up this body. So we have, you can see in this picture, the chakras. So our life is somewhere in the bottom. You have to raise that. You know this Yama, Niyama, Hasana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Samadhi is the thing where he rises this chakras to the Agnya Chakra. Actually, sitting posture I was saying about, it takes much longer time, 12 years to practice. It said as Muktasana. And today I said about 9 holes, you know. Yes. So Muktasana is nothing but is practicing covering all the holes, is blocking all the holes. So nowhere the air can pass, nowhere the life air can pass. So he wants to raise that life air through the help of pranayama. What is pranayama? Controlling the air, not outside, internally. There's Panchavayu inside. It is called as Apanavayu, Vyanavayu, Samanavayu, Udanavayu, and Pranavayu. So how it helps? It helps to go downwards or shrink and expand, equilibrium, and go upward in this way. So he takes that subtle air within. By this pranayama, he starts rising the chakras. The very bottom one is Kundalini chakra. From Kundalini chakra, he takes to the Mooladhara chakra, then Swadhisthana chakra, then Manipura chakra, then Anahata chakra, then Vishuddha chakra. And finally, he takes to Agnya chakra. Clear? In this Agnya chakra, I hope many mothers will be knowing this because they give birth to the child, small child. When you touch here, you can feel that there is something very soft thing. If you just tap, it becomes a hole. in that way. Or else you can see in a skull, a dead body skull you take, you can see in the skull there will be a hole here. That is Brahmarandra. Agnya Chakra, where the meditation goes topward and he just meditates on the middle of his eyebrow and half open his eyes, and he'll be meditating on the tip of the nose. In this way, he's rising to the Agnya Chakra, and finally through that Brahmarandra, he gives up his life air. And for that, there is a scheduled time and many things to be followed. It should be Uttarayana, not Dakshinayana. It should be in Uttarayana and in Shukla Paksha and in the daytime. So many rules and regulations, restrictions are there. If he just gives up something, and there is no other practice also. For example, you're playing cricket or shuttlecock, something you think, missing, you'll hit the ball. Sometimes you'll be missing it. Not that always you tap the ball, no? You'll be missing. And here yogi is not having such kind of a chance, such kind of a cushion here. He gives up only once, is clean bowled. If he gives up the body, at that time, something, the life air comes out. He's planning exactly, but you cannot assure that at the same time it happens. He gives up and it is a Krishna Paksha, gone case. If it's night, then gone. If it is Dakshinayana, he's going to not reach the Urdu lokas. He's not going to go to the heavenly planets. I hope you understand. So what's the difference between a devotee and a yogi? Simple example I'll give just to understand this. A child is crossing the road. I gave this example previously, I think. So yes, for Pandavas I gave. So then he catches hold of his father. Child crossing, it's very difficult because many vehicles are coming. Child cannot know how to cross. So when he's with his father, it is very easy to cross. Isn't it? And here, the devotee and a yogi, the difference between it, child catching the hand of his father is a yogi. How it differs? For example, when he's crossing the road, there is something, a big sound, a big truck comes in, gives a big horn or something. He might get scared and might give up the hand of his father. Or else there is some attractive things which is going on. So he might leave his father's hand, he might see that, and he might be got caught somewhere in the middle of the road. But devotee is a person where he gives his hand to his father. Is completely dependent on Krishna. When father is holding the hand of the child, when there's a bigger, great horn also, he will not give up. And is some dolls or something, any attractive things, he will not give up his son. He'll be holding him. I hope you understood. That is the difference between a small difference between a yogi and devotee. And yogi is practicing so that he can give up his life and he can go back to Godhead, to Vaikuntha. Sometimes he might miss out in his practice. If it's not perfect, he cannot go or reach there. That's why it is very difficult process is yoga. That is Ashtanga yoga. But a devotee is completely dependent, is least bothered when I'm going to die. He's chanting the holy name of the Lord, depending on the Lord takes him back. Got it. Clear? Yes. And now you can see here chant Om. He has to chant Om. Om. By that chanting Om only he can raise this chakras. Then nowadays when you say, oh, yoga is different, no need to chant Om also. Om, Yam, something. There's nowhere related to the Lord. It cannot be yoga. This is demons civilization. What can we do? So no way, they want to be away from the Lord. They wanted all the energy of the Lord, but Lord has to be taken out from them. This is what is modernization. And we are very fond of modernization. We also want to be like that. Fine. Then renounces all senses gratification, sense gratification, especially sex life. Yes. Without being, in the 6th chapter of celibacy it came. Without overcoming, being a brahmachari, you cannot be a yogi. One thing you should know, in Himalayas, there is agoris, they just do by manually, like, they just break the, what I can say, the personal, what I can say, part of the male to become syllabus. Sometimes they may even die also by that wrong process or something. In this way, they do what artificially. Artificially, it never works. It should be naturally. That means mentally you want to control, not physically you cannot do. It is foolishness. So nowhere Ashtanga Yoga is not for this Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga only chanting Hare Krishna. Practice, 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 practice. That's it. Clear? And fix mind on heart. Why on heart? Krishna is residing in heart. So practice. And Krishna is residing in heart. Paramatma. Clear? Yes. And now you can see Bhakti Yoga is so simple. You saw so difficult things in yoga, but here Bhakti, practice chanting, reading, seva to Lord. These are very easy to perform. You can see this picture also. Just every day you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and I am teaching this bhajan, same bhajan for 18 days. What happens? You well versed in this bhajan. Many also don't doing. Some are doing and some are not doing. You practice this in the evenings or in the mornings with the family. In this way, you can just do a small bhajan to the Lord, sitting in front of the Lord. Anyone from any walk of life can perform this bhakti yoga. There is no restriction. Anyone can do. Even if you're male, female, man or woman, child, old, whoever, everyone can do. And any caste, any fallen soul, any great soul, any person can do this. Then there is no need for severe renunciation. One has to just follow some regulations and perform from whichever position one is. Not that such kind of difficult thing to be followed. Yes, in bhakti also something to be followed. It's a simple regulations, which is sinful. Such kind of thing has to be followed. You will say anyone coming in service. Then directly engage in service of the Lord, which will automatically purify. Yes. What happens automatically? When you associate with fire, you get the qualities of fire. Prabhupada gives an example. Take a very hard iron piece, put into fire. It acquires all the qualities of fire, then it is equivalent to the fire. Isn't it? Yes. Engage in the devotional service, you'll become as pure as the Supreme Lord. You'll get all the qualities. Clear? Yes. Now, bhakti versus other process. Bhakti brings peace. Yes, because it's completely dependent on Krishna and we have peace. Then bhakti cannot be checked. Anyone from any this thing, they can do it. Then bhakti can be performed by anyone. Then bhakti liberates us. Yes, there is a liberation. It's a part of, I can say, jnanis too. That is Brahman realization. But bhaktas get all the things in the process of this devotional service. And bhakti purchases Krishna. And even it purchases Krishna also. So to understand this, I'll say small pastime too. How Krishna himself says that I have been purchased by devotees. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a great devotee by name Ambarish Maharaj, was engaging all his senses in the Lord's service. And he was such a great devotee, like his name and fame was been glorified even in the three worlds, even the heavenly planets. And he was such a person, he was observing this Ekadashi. And that Ekadashi in his kingdom, even this, what I can say, horses, cows, everyone was following, even the animals. Just imagine about human being, forget about human being. Even the animals were observing Ekadashi. Such great personality was. And hearing all this, one yogi got disturbed. And his name is Durvasa Muni. I hope you all know about Durvasa Muni. Always he'll be angry. Said, I'm such a great yogi. My name is not being glorified anywhere. But this person is an ordinary person, is a human being, is what I can say, is a kshatriya, is a grihastha. How is that his name has been glorified like this? So he wants to test him. So on Dwadashi day he came. Dwadashi day is a thing, after Ekadashi it is Dwadashi. We have to fast break on particular time. We want to test him. So actually there is called like Atiti Devo Bhava. When a guest comes to the house, he is like Atiti Devo Bhava. He is like the Devatas who's coming. He is like the Lord. You have to accept him and you have to serve him. Then you have to serve yourself or honor the prasadam. Now Durvasa Muni is coming at the correct time. Then seeing this, then Ambarish Maharaj. Now it's a fast breaking time. He says, yes, guest service, please come. You take this 100 pressure. Then he said, no, I have to take bath. Okay. In those days, they go to the river bed and take bath and come. Then Ambarish Maharaj says, it's getting late. You come little fast. Okay. Even he has actually come to test him. No? So he's spending more time there. He's not coming on time. Then he had a discussion with the Brahmanas, and Brahmanas say, fine, you can take Tulsi Tirtha. This Tulsi Tirtha, water, you can take. That is equivalent that like breaking the fast because you are doing Nirjal Ekadashi. So it is like you are breaking the fast. And because you're not honoring any prasadam, you're not disrespecting the guest also. So you can take this. So by the suggestion of everyone, he just took that. Just meanwhile, when he was taking, Guru was entered. As soon as seeing this, he was very much angry on Ambarish Maharaj. He said, what is this? You are insulting me. You invited for breaking the fast and you are breaking without my presence. This is an insult to the yogi. He became very angry and he just took one hair from his head and just dropped. And there was a great demon came out of that hair. And he was about to kill this Ambarish Maharaj. And Ambarish Maharaj just silently stood there folding his hands and praying to the Lord. And don't think Ambarish Maharaj was an ordinary person. Actually, he was a great devotee of the Lord. Lord was pleased by this devotee. He gave his Sudarshan Chakra to Ambarish Maharaj. I hope you all know the power of Sudarshan Chakra. And here you can easily utilize that. But he's dependent. As I gave the example of the child giving the hand to this father, same way Ambarish Maharaj is completely dependent. He's folding his hands. Yes, I'm to be killed. Let me kill. He is standing there. And that demon, the great demon, he was so huge. To this earth and the sky is such big. Demon is coming to swallow him. Meanwhile, without even the permission of Ambarish Maharaj, Sudarshan Chakra, he came out. He came out, he just burned this demon to ashes. Not only that, he started chasing this. He went to burn even Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni started running for the help. He went to many planets. Like I'll show this so that you will understand. This is Goloka chat. One day I'll explain other things. Today I'll explain about this. So this is earthly planet here. You can see our 14 planetary system. We are in the earth. This is Bhuloka. Then Bhuvar, Marloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. Here bottom it is Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Tala, Tala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. So this happened in Bhuloka. Now he's running to the Swargaloka, asking the help of Brahma. Then Brahma said, no. Oh, sorry, not Brahma, Indra. So he went to Indra Loka and Indra is saying, it is Sudarshan Chakra. My Vajra, then nothing it can do in front of me. So I am helpless. And finally he goes to Brahma Loka, that is Satya Loka. You understand? And this yogi is so great, you know. He can go to all the planetary system. Such great is. He went even to Brahma Loka. Brahma said, my Brahmadanda can do nothing in front of this Sudarshan. Then he went to Kailas. And Shiva said, oh, I cannot do anything. My Trident cannot do anything in this Sudarshana. You have to go take the shelter of the Lord. Then he goes to Vaikuntha. And Vaikuntha is within this material world, not the other Vaikunthas. Here, this is top is Vaikuntha Lokas. But here, within this universe, there is Vaikuntha Loka. Shirodayakasha Vishnu. It is called as Svetadvipa. He goes to this Vaikuntha. That's what many movies, old movies, they show, no? 7 doors entering there, something like this. Yes, that is it. So he goes to Vaikuntha. He asks this thing, help from the Lord. Please help me that Sudarshan Chakra is chasing me. I know that it is your weapon. Please take the weapon back. Then Lord says, no. I cannot take it back. Even Sudarshan Chakra will not adhere to my orders. It's been given to Ambarish Maharaj. So not that Lord cannot do anything, but he can do. But he's taking that position. Now here he's explaining. See, Durvasa, no one can help you in this whole creation other than my devotee Ambarish Maharaj. To whom you have offended, only he can help you. And I don't actually many say that I'm independent, but even I'm not independent. Actually, scriptures say that. He says as Swarat is independent, but But Krishna is saying, no, I am not independent. I am the servant of my devotees. I just dance on their wish. Whatever the wish they have, I just play accordingly. So I cannot help you. You have to go back to my devotee Amrish only. And finally, we understand. Actually, in Padma Purana, Lord says, even somebody is offending the Lord even for millions of times. And if he offers a lotus feet at the lotus feet of the Lord, is pleased, he'll forgive him. But if somebody is offending a devotee even once, and if he offers millions of lotuses at the lotus feet of the Lord, he will never ever forgive him. I hope you understood. That is the position Lord is giving to the devotees. And finally, from there, once again, he'll come back to this Bhuloka. He'll come to this earthly planet. And still Ambrish Maharaj is standing there. He knows very well he should come back. He will come back. He's waiting there. Not with a puffed up mood, very humble mood. And finally he comes, he falls at the feet of Ambrish Maharaj. Then Ambrish Maharaj requests Sudarshan Chakra to please forgive. Then Sudarshan Chakra will take his position, go back. Then Durvasa Muni, Durvasa Muni is falling to the feet. Even then, without his request also, is forgiving him. That is the nature of a devotee. Nature. And this took for 1 year, It took 1 year. And the 1 year is standing like that without even drinking water. Then he says to Durvasa Muni, without doing Atiti Devo Bhava, without what I can say, serving the guest, I'm not going to take myself. He called Durvasa Muni, made him to sit, and he served him later, but he broke his fast. Or broke his this thing, he took the prasadam out. So this is the position of a devotee. He takes the humble position, but Lord makes him so huge. He takes the position as a servant of that devotee. So many times, even in our education, they show us how to get puffed up, how to be egoistic, how to be great, how to stamp others so that you can progress in your life. No, that is demonic. Scriptures teach us. And many will say, if you become very humble, very this thing, you will be. No, Arjuna did not become in that way. Never ever give up your position by becoming humble. Humble is different and cowardness is different. We claim cowardness to be as humble. No. Yes, coming days, somewhere, tomorrow, somewhere, I'll teach that. That also Krishna says in the 13th chapter, somewhere it comes. I'll teach that. So, fine. Let us go further. Bhakti versus other processes. Karmi wants sense gratification. So he might go to even Swargaloka, heavenly planet. But Jnani wants release from material misery, liberation, oneness with God. Yes, he wants to be one with the Lord. So he thinks that Lord is a light and I have to be one with the Lord, something like that. So he gets free from his Janma Mrityu Chara Vyadhi. And here it is called as Brahmajyoti. You can see here Brahmajyoti. Yes. So this is nothing but the effulgence of the Lord's body. So he will become one with this. He thinks that Lord is this light only, without having complete knowledge. Many we think, no, Lord is light. This way, actually, that is the effulgence of the Lord's body. That is called Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, Bhagavan realization. So here he thinks that by merging into this light, he has become merged into the Lord. No, it's the light or the effulgence of the Lord's body. Yeah, that is Jnani. And Yogi wants mystic siddhis, Anima, Lagima, Mahima. In this kind of siddhis, he'll start acquiring. And pure devotees wants only to please Krishna. They don't have any personal desires. So Krishna becomes servant of that devotee. You should see many pastimes comes. In the end of this chapters, from 13th chapter, I think, I'll say the pastimes of the devotees. And they're starting with a session. So there you should see how Krishna is serving devotees. Lord is serving the devotees, not the devotee. Because that is the position. He is so humble, so dear to the Lord. Krishna takes a humble position to serve. Even in Vrindavan Leela, you can see he is serving all the boys. No time to say, it's already time. Okay. Ananyacheta satatam yo mam smarati nityasaha tasyaham sulabah partha nityayuktasya yoginaha. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Why? Constantly is engaging in devotional service, meditating on me, so it becomes very easy. I hope understood. Yes, a yogi is suffering like anything to achieve the same destination. A devotee gets very easily by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Next, Bhakti Liberates says, Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam shashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gataha. Krishna is saying, this world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This is the quality of this world. It's only a place of miseries. No settlement here and no happiness. For example, you think about Aushadhalaya. What is Aushadhalaya? It's a place of medicines, isn't it? You cannot get a different thing other than that. Vidyalaya. Vidyalaya is a place of education. You cannot go and ask for medicines there. Will they give? They say, no, we don't have. You go to Aushadhalaya and ask for education, will they give? They say, no, we don't have that. But we are so ignorant, rather ignorant, I can say we are fools, searching for happiness in Dukkhalaya. Do you think we'll get that? In this material world, we'll not get happiness because the creation itself is made as Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. That's what Krishna is saying here. Clear? And next, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna Mam Upetya tu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. And he says, from Brahmaloka, that's why I showed you, all the 14 planetary systems, from Brahmaloka to Patala, nowhere you can escape from Janma Mritti Jara Vyadi, birth, death, old age and disease. It's a place of birth, death, old age and disease. You cannot escape from this. This is the only misery that we have. Let it be a millionaire, let it be an animal, whatever. This is the punishment, or this is the misery that we get. You can never escape from this. Even Brahma couldn't escape, what to speak of us. But who can escape? Mam upetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. A devotee, but one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Previously also he said, a person who becomes devotee, he comes back to me. We engages in devotional service, he comes back to me. So no need to take birth again. So Bhakti liberates us. Now, many questions we raise. Why should we be liberated? Or why should we escape the material world? Because it is a place of misery and non-permanent. It's a temporary place and it is misery. Who will be willing to be in a world of miseries? Only a person who is not having intelligence, or who is not, what I can say, a sane man cannot be, isn't it? A proper person, definitely, he has intelligence, he'll plan. Why should be in a place of miseries? Let me go from here. But he's not having intelligence. That's why without Bhagavad-Gita, no life is. And here, why Krishna created such a place? Now we can see it's punishment and purification. It is something like a jail. This material world is something like a jail. In this jail, there is punishment and purification. Who comes to jail? Only criminals, isn't it? Yes. So we are all criminals. We have committed some mistake there. So Krishna has sent us to this material world, which is as a jail. It's a place of punishment. Yeah. Criminal elements in society force the authorities to create prison. So what is the punishment that we are getting? This is the punishment. Birth, death, old age, and disease. And who is the jailer? It is Durga Devi. Durga Devi. What does the name suggest? Durga. Durga means jail, Durga Devi. She is the master of this jail. That's why many go to Durga Devi. Pray to Durga Devi. And she's having a trident, you can see in her hand. What is that? Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika. She's purifying us by giving more problems. How's that? What is Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, and Adhyatmika? The problems that we get by Adi Daivika. Adi Daivika means Adhyatmika. Okay, first is Adhyatmika. Adhyatmika means getting the problems by ourselves. Getting headache, stomach pain. By our body, we get many miseries. That is Adhyatmika. What is Adi Bhautika? Adi Bhautika getting from other animals, like dog bait, mosquito bait, or somebody is coming and scolding me or beating me, something like this. From others, I get that miseries. And what is Adi Daivika? Getting from the Devatas. For example, there's a huge rain like tsunami, earthquake, volcano, many things like that. In this way, I get problems. In these three ways, she's purifying us. She's never making to get settled in our life. Finally, we get frustrated in our life. Finally, take the shelter of. Clear? In times we think it's a force. No, it's very natural. So one or the other day, we have to take the shelter of the Lord. And Krishna says, if you don't take shelter of the Lord now, at the death at least you have to take his shelter. Mrityu sarva harasachaham. Mrityu is also the Lord. Comes in the form of Mrityu. If you don't surrender now, finally, definitely for the death, you have to surrender. Okay, now, what is the punishment? How the punishment is given? You can see it is said in, I think, Padma Purana. What is that? Jalajanava lakshani stavara laksha vimshati. You see in this chat, 9 lakh lifetimes we take as living in water, like fish, tortoise, like crocodile, many varieties. There are 9 lakh species. And non-moving living entities like trees and mountains, it is 20 lakh. Then 11 lakh species of insects and reptiles. Then species of birds, 10 lakh. Then quadruped, that is like 4-leg animals, is 30 lakh. And finally, it is 4 lakh human species. You take the birth in the consciousness as a tribal, as uncivilized, then civilization. Already in the 7th chapter, I explained that. In this way, it is very, very fortunate to get human body. If we don't utilize that in the right purpose, definitely our next birth will be somewhere in this 84 lakh species. And nowadays, modernists, who knows this? Scientists say, oh, this new. And before they were saying in fire, there cannot be any animal. And now they are saying even in volcano places, many insects are there, many flies are there. That means there can be some living entity even in the fire. New things. Now they are researching and knowing. But Lord has already given in the scriptures, there are 84 lakh species in this creation. That is why scriptural knowledge is complete, and it is authentic, and it is absolute also. You cannot find any flaw or any mistakes in scriptures. Yes, we may not be perfect to understand that, but scriptures cannot be wrong. Okay? Yes. Now, a prison without wall. This is our material world. Then how are we bound? 3 modes of material nature. This will come in the 14th chapter, but still this is just a little bit. 3 modes, that is Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. That's what in the 3rd chapter Krishna says, Prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha. So we are being controlled by these 3 modes. We think that I am doing this activity. No, it is the 3 gunas making me to act. That is goodness, passion, and ignorance. In the 14th chapter, it is completely the chapter of 3 modes. We'll discuss more there. How it is controlling my sleep, my activities, my food, my thinking, my emotions. Everything is being controlled by these 3 modes. And how to overcome that, how to come out of it, everything will be explained in the 14th chapter. So 1 chapter gives a complete knowledge. And today's knowledge was examination. Like this way, one other day you'll be seeing one. It's 18 days, 18 kinds of knowledge you'll be seeing. Now, nature of the spiritual world. So here finally Krishna is saying the nature of the spiritual world. Why? Just is giving some jalak, like you go to a sweet stall. What that person does, he gives a small sweet. Taste this. What happens after tasting this? You wanted more. So you will at least get attracted towards the spirituality. So it is eternal place. It is infallible. You'll never come back to this material world, this miserable life. The unlimited bliss. and fulfill all desires. There is kalpavriksha trees, wish-fulfilling desire trees. Whatever you ask, it can fulfill. All attractive, unmanifested, transcendental, supreme destination, a place of no return. And in Brahma Samhita, Brahma explains this. Chintamani prakara sadma shukalpa vriksha laksha vriteshu surabhira vibalayantam lakshmi sahasrashad sambrama sevyamanam govindamadi purusham maham bhajami. Chintamani prakara sadmashu. The place is with Chintamani stones, touchstones. Just even iron rod has been touched to Chintamani, transforms to gold. So it's filled with gold and Chintamani stones. And the Surabhi cows have always, the milk is just flowing like anything. It's the nectarian milk. And even the grass and the plants also, even the rivers flow of milk there. Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrama Sevyama. There are millions of Lakshmis waiting for the Lord to serve. We are just praying for one Lakshmi here, isn't it? Oh, if I get goddess of fortune, I'll be very opulent. And their Lakshmis are waiting to serve the Lord. Just think how opulent that spiritual world is. So just, it is a small challenge for us to get attracted to the spiritual world. Krishna is showing that. You take devotional service, I'll take back. I'll take back to my abode. You'll be in that place. Yeah. Chant Hare Krishna, offer to Krishna and take that offered prasadam. That is sufficient for our purification. Clear? Finally, now Krishna is saying, what do they attain? Avyaktakshara ityaktastam mahu paramam gatim yam prapyana nivartante tadhama paramam mama. That which the Vedantas describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode. Whatever you see in the scriptures, whatever the rishis or the munis or the mahatmas has explained, the Vedantas have explained, described, whatever is, it is all about my abode, Krishna, Kaunteya, that is Arjuna. It's, please understand, anything we explain about the spiritual world, it is Krishna's abode. Here? Yes. Now devotion, how to attain supreme. Yogis passing the world at right time. Explain this. But bhaktas, devotees, free of those rules. They don't have any such kind of rules and things. They can give up their body at any time. Krishna will take them back. Devotional service. Devotional service encompasses everything. Yeah, you can see here, just again this. Actually, you should read this Bhagavad-Gita so that you can understand more better. According to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world. One is light and one is darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when one passes in darkness, he returns. This is for yogi. Then, although the devotees know these two paths, devotees know very well about this. Oh Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. Even devotees know, but they are not bewildered because they are dependent on Krishna. Krishna is directly coming and taking them back. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing the austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these. Who's saying this? Krishna. Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka, who's the creator of this spiritual or material world, everything, the source of everything. Matta Smritir Jnanam, Matta Parataram Nanyat, Kinchidasti Dhananjaya, Mai Sarvam Idam Proktam Sutri Maniganaiva. He explained that all the pearls are standing on my help, the thread. He is the source of everything. And that Krishna is saying here. Everything is based on devotional service. Devotional service is nothing but love, just getting connected to it. Clear? And at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Now, even hearing all those things, even if you don't get attracted and if you don't take up Krishna consciousness, the devotional path, I don't think we are intelligent. Isn't it? Yes. So we should be a little bit serious in our life. What kind of a life are we leading? Clear? Yes. Thank you. And today's chapter, DEAD, dead, that is doubt. Arjuna's questions are answered. Then finally, the exam is our death, the attaining the supreme, how a yogi does in a way, devotee does, and devotion. Devotion, only a devotion can help us. The bhakti. Clear? Yes. So what is for tomorrow? And as I said, 9th chapter is the most important among all the 18 chapters. So Krishna is going to reveal here the most confidential knowledge. Clear? And you can see our knowledge, inconceivable relationship, non-worship, and glories of Bhakti. Tomorrow we'll be seeing many more things. And tomorrow is also a big chapter. Not a big chapter like, but many things to be discussed. As in the previous lesson, it takes 1 hour to explain one verse. So much of messages. Somewhere we are cutting short and only going the essence. Even that essence is not able to complete. So not just going, I can just read the slides and go away. I can complete it. But what is the use? You should understand it. What is the purpose of doing without getting any use to it? So somewhere you should get attracted to it. You should get convinced. You have to take up this Krishna conscious seriously and easily. Okay. Now there is a quiz link. So I request everyone, please do attend to it. Please bother both the marks, whatever you attend. But you attend. Okay. And you'll be getting a certificate in the end. So now let us chant once Hare Krishna Mahamant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Saishna Mani Namani Venagirtanya Sada Hare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his 3rd successive verse he explains this. Sinadapi Sunichena. Just be humble as a blade of grass. Nadapi Sunichena. Tarorapi Saishna. That is Sahishna. Tolerance. Tolerate as a tree. Tree tolerant. The tolerant thing is a tree. Even in the rain, even in scorching hot, or even you are stoning it, you are cutting it, it tolerates everything. And amanina manidena. Respect everyone. Don't expect any respect from anyone. Kirtanya sada. Only having this qualities will be able to chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. Other meaning also, by constantly chanting, you'll acquire all the qualities up. Clear? Yes. So this is our Lakshmi Narasimhadev, Gandharika Giridhari, and ISKCON HP. And if you have any questions, you can raise your hands. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Now, if you any announcements, you can hear from Josh. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for nice explanation. There is one question from yesterday's feedback. I'll just read it.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is from Vidya Mataji. Prabhuji, you told that with the Guru we can connect to God, but nowadays so many telling so many things. How can we now know which Guru is showing us the right path? Please tell us. By attending these sessions, some of my doubts cleared. As you know from so many days, we think what we are doing that is right, but after listening Bhagavad-Gita, I came to know that all are wrong.
Okay, now how to accept a Guru? Yes, you have to search for it. You cannot take granted. Whoever is having a good, what I can say, reputation, or who's good looking, who's giving some magical things, they all cannot be a Guru. Guru will be very simple, He is the person who makes us to get realized what is our life. So Guru is a person where you see him that he should be a humble servant of his spiritual master. And this should be a bona fide, that means it should come from a parampara. Parampara is nothing but you see a Guru, he will be having his spiritual master, and he will be having his spiritual master, and he will be having his spiritual master. This should get connected to Krishna. And your ISKCON has been connected to Krishna. Very simple. There are only 2 paramparas now, that is Sri Parampara and Brahma Bandhava Gauriya Parampara. One is ISKCON, another is Sri Parampara, Ramanujacharya's. Somewhere you can see, I don't say that you have to come here only, you have to accept here only. No, you have that free will where you feel that you are very much convenient, you are very liking to your nature. It is, I can be here better, I'll be happy here. You can get connected. But rather searching, there's an easy process somewhere. I don't know. Lord is getting connected to you here. To be connected here, you can get connected. So take the shelter of a spiritual master, and I will guide you to ultimately get what I can say, a connection to a spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, get diksha from him, get connected to it. All those things will be taken care of. But only thing you have to constantly sustain, have patience. Many will have very big desires in the beginning, but on the process they give up. Only thing you need is the patience. Constantly be with us. This is how you can even achieve it. The relationship or the association of devotees is more important. It keeps you, or else it will become lifeless. Yeah, spiritual also you'll be chanting, but it is lifeless without devotees. So all those things has to be covered. If you have more any such things, you can directly contact me. So I can give my number. You can directly contact me. Any doubts of such kind, or else how you have to get connected. All those things. Okay. Just I posted in the chat box my number. You can make a note of it, and you can, if you have any questions also, such kind of personal questions, you can call me or WhatsApp me or something. Okay. I can guide you, or else you wanted to get connected anywhere else, you can get. But one thing you should make a note, that whomever you are getting accepting as a spiritual master, definitely he should be a servant of his spiritual master. That's it. That is the only point you have to know, make a note. Later part, bona fide, non-bona fide, later part you'll be knowing those things. Not in the very beginning, you may not know that. And only basic thing now you have to make a notice, this is the thing. He should be having a spiritual master, and he should be a humble servant of his spiritual master. And whatever he is preaching or whatever he is doing, it should be based on the orders of his spiritual master. Many times what happens, even in bona fide thing, they come and they give up. Without the order of the spiritual master, they'll do their own things and they'll be doing it. So all those things also should see whether it's getting connected, all those things. Okay, it's a big process actually, choosing. Otherwise, we get easily cheated. There are many people, especially in this Kali Yuga, there are many bogus gurus who come to you. I can liberate you, come and take my shelter, that's it. You can drink, you can eat, you can do whatever is fine. No restrictions also. There are many big societies also. Guiding us, yes, but somewhere it is good, I feel, because nobody is serious in their life. At least somewhere you get connected, some good things. Materially, at least you do some good things. In that part, it is good. But ultimately, you want to get liberated, then definitely you have to get connected. A bona fide parampara. Okay. Yes, Prabhu. Any other questions? You can raise your hands. No questions?
No questions.
Thank you. Okay, thank all the devotees for what is this?
There's one from
And but you say only through chanting. So I said that meditation is for Satyuga. I don't say that. It is said in scriptures. Tomorrow I'll see that and I'll give you the reference also. Which portion say that? Not like best. Not best like. It's all having the same result. But where should I apply it? As I said, the holy names, there are many holy names of the Lord. Millions. But Hare Krishna Mahamantra for this Kali Yuga. All the holy names has the same power, same potency. But for this Kali Yuga, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The same way, meditation is for Satyuga, not for Kali Yuga. It's Yuga Dharma. And Yajna, doing fire sacrifice, is for Treta Yuga. And Vigraharadhana is for Dwapara Yuga. And Harinam Sankirtan is for Kali Yuga. You cannot meditate in Kali Yuga. Yes, some will say not having bona fide scriptural things. Nowadays, I say no, 99% is not authorized. It is not authentic. One day we get one new philosophy, new tattva. Many are emerging like anything. This week, and even yoga also. No? Before it was sitting and doing some yoga, they started. Then what happened? Then many kinds of yogas came. Aerial yoga, it's in the flying only they do the yoga. Chair yoga, on the chair also you can sit, not sitting down. They saw that many cannot sit down nowadays. They brought a new concept. Chair yoga. Sit on the chair and do yoga. Different yogas. And many this kind of, many office people, they cannot come. This has started office yoga. This, then they thought they have some disease for this animals like cats and dogs. Now in America, it's a big business. So multi-billionaire business is it, yoga. They started yoga for cats and dogs also nowadays. So it's only a money-making process. Please be a little cautious. Think carefully before taking some decisions. So at least don't waste your life. Anyway, tomorrow I'll come with reference. Possible, I'll come with reference. I'll quote you also. Show that. It's in scriptures very clear. In Kali Yuga, it is only chanting the. Okay. Yes, thank you. Okay, I thank all the devotees for attending today's session. Let's chant once Hare Krishna Mahamantra and wind up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'll give the option to unmute yourself. You can chant, say once Hare Krishna and leave the meeting.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Manjunath Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Vidya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Ramesh Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Manas, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mamata Mataji, Hare Krishna. Kavita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Redmi Mataji, Hare Krishna. Mataji, Hare Krishna. Vishen Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Atul Chand Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Mataji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to all. Chandrasekhar, Hare Krishna. You can hear.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Kirtidas Prabhu, Hare Krishna Manjunath Prabhu, Hare Krishna to all. Thank you all for joining the session. We'll continue with chapter 9 tomorrow.
Pramod Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna.